Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Adam Burke from BangTheBook.com, coming to look at game 311-312. Pitt takes on Syracuse in some ACC action on Friday night. Pitt a 3.5-point favorite in this game, total of 51.5. Over at BangTheBook.com, lots of great stuff being done by our excellent cast of writers. We've got power ratings for college football, power ratings and model projections for the NFL coming here either on Wednesday night or Thursday. Lots of free pick articles heading on into the weekend. FCS from Jonathan Willis, best bets from Admir Algic, system picks and a top total of the week from Alan Moody. Some good stuff on the college side, and those guys also contributing on the NFL side as well to go along with Andrew Howard's weekly prop betting picks, our Super Contest and Circa Million coverage, and of course, not just football, BangTheBook.com. We cover golf, tennis, NASCAR, UFC, esports, NBA coming up here. We'll have a World Series preview once we know who those two teams are. So a lot of stuff going on across a lot of different markets over at BangTheBook.com. Also, make sure you're checking out Bang the Book Radio every day, Monday through Friday, segments right here on our Bang the Book YouTube page. And check your podcast content supplier for our shows at Bang the Book Radio. They're out there everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Google Podcasts, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Podbean, TuneIn. Whatever it is you use for podcasts, you'll find Bang the Book Radio there. Once again, game 311-312 here, Pitt and Syracuse. And as a general rule, I try to cover these weeknight games with the videos here on our Bang the Book YouTube page because we've found that they get the most traffic. Obviously, on Saturdays, a lot of different games. Maybe some games have too much competition. Maybe some games don't find the sweet spot. Try to cover those weeknight games, and sometimes I don't have the strongest opinions on them, but I've got a pretty strong opinion here in this Pitt versus Syracuse game. Again, 3.5 the spread, 51.5 the total. The total's bounced around a little bit here, anywhere from 50 to 52. The spread has really held steady with Pitt, though. A 3.5-point favorite. We've seen some varying juice early in the week. Some places Pitt minus 3.5, minus 115. Others Pitt minus 3.5, minus 105. So seems like 3.5, a number that's holding pretty well here at this point in time. Look, for Pitt this year, offense has been a struggle. 5.04 yards per play, but it's the same that Syracuse has, 5.04 yards per play, and a really big difference here on the defensive side, as we'll get to in a couple of minutes. Both of these teams have had problems protecting the quarterback. Kenny Pickett even missed a game against Delaware just to heal up a little bit. Pitt is tied for second in sacks with 27. Syracuse tied for 17th with 20. The big difference here, Pitt, while the quarterbacks have been hit a little bit, Pitt's only allowed 12 sacks on the season in 6 games. Syracuse has allowed 26 sacks in 6 games. So we could see a lot of third and long here in this particular matchup because neither one of these teams can run the football. You look at Syracuse here on the season, they're really struggling to run the ball. Pitt, they're struggling as well. Both of these teams in the bottom 30 in yards per carry. So they're going to have to throw the football to move it. And again, one team protects the quarterback better than the other, and one team gets after the quarterback better than the other. So that could really play a big role here in this one. Again, you would think that Mark Whipple, the new offensive coordinator at Pitt, would start helping this offense a little bit here, but so far it's been a tall order for them. Again, just 5.04 yards per play. On the Syracuse side, we're used to seeing them being really good offensively. The loss of Eric Dungy to graduation has been a big hindrance for the Orange here so far this season. Tommy DeVito's been in the system, but seems to take him longer to go through his progressions, doesn't get the football out as quickly as Dungy used to. Dungy was also a better runner. DeVito's taken a lot of hits here so far this year. Also showed some elbow discomfort in Syracuse's win over Holy Cross, which is something that definitely merits watching over the rest of the season. Both of these teams on some extra rest here for this one. Syracuse, just 4.3 yards per play in their games against FBS teams. Pitt, just 4.33 yards per play against FBS teams. So offense could be a struggle, as I mentioned already. So with that in mind, who's got the better defense? Well, it's far and away the Pitt Panthers. 10th in the country in yards per play allowed at 4.35. And again, keep in mind that Pitt has played Penn State and UCF here on the season. Syracuse, 76th in the country in yards per play allowed at 5.78. So even with those 20 sacks, even with holding Holy Cross to about 2 yards per play, they're still 76th in the country. They've allowed 6.45 yards per play to the non-Holy Cross teams that they've played here. And when you look at Pitt, and this happens all the time in college football, when a team struggles with an FCS opponent, that team gets discredited out there in the marketplace. Pitt struggled with Delaware. It's a game where they needed a fourth quarter comeback to come away with the victory in that game. And again, they sat Kenny Pickett and they sat several other starters in that matchup. So they were a shorthanded team. Delaware's not a bad FCS team either, at least usually not year in and year out. So that Pitt close win, having too much of an impact out there in the betting market. My pure power rating number for this game is Pitt minus 2.5, but I'm going against my numbers here. I like Pitt minus 3.5. Better defense, top 10 defense in the country in yards per play. Both of these offenses are kind of on even footing, but again, Pitt, injury problems to Kenny Pickett. I think the offense is a little bit better than it has shown here so far. So I do really like Pitt minus the 3.5 here, and also like the under. A lot of third and long probably coming in this game. A lot of pressured quarterbacks. Syracuse 121st in the country in yards per carry. Pitt 111th in the country in yards per carry. Neither one of these teams going to be able to run the football. Going to be a lot of third and long, a lot of pressure on these two quarterbacks. Pitt's just better at getting pressure on the quarterback and better at protecting the quarterback. So that's the primary difference here, where I like Pitt minus 3.5 and also like the under 51.5. I'm Adam Burke for BangTheBook.com.